So now I'll show you the more advanced commands, or the more advanced setup and system stuff like that. So let's go to setup, and in setup we have options speed, system, flame, plasma, control, and you have save as well, which you have to hit every time. So let's say that we want to modify our speeds. So right now we're in millimeters a second, and we can change that in systems in a little bit later. So right now our setup is going. So now is our startup time and everything like that. So this includes all of our speeds, machining speed, return to origin speed, and then all that kind of stuff, as well as controlling your speeds around corners, corner radii, kerf, stuff like that. So then in our system, this is where we can pre-program different points. So we can program soft limits, which basically tells the machine it'll travel 100 millimeters that way, but then it'll stop just to protect it, because there are no hard stops. It won't go right off the system because it'll run out of track to push itself, but it'll prevent it from ever even trying to do that, and it'll also warn you. If you set that up, it'll warn you if you program a part that'll go over. And then drill offsets, all that other kind of stuff. So now if we go to our flame system, this is all of our information. So our ignition, it will attempt to ignite it for 1.5 seconds. Our hot up time is 100 seconds. Then all kinds of other stuff. This is commands, those are G-code commands there for customizing the torch up, torch down, all that kind of stuff within the commands. Pierce time, so that means it gives it half a second to pierce the sheet, and then you have an overcut delay time, which basically means after you're done cutting, the torch will come to a stop, and then it'll let the flame basically, as it's cutting through the plate, it'll be like dragging, and it'll let it come stop, and then it'll turn the system off. And then there's all kinds of other commands in there as well. Preheat command, all that. So plasma, that's the one that I use most of the time. I know this one the better. The best, this is locate check. That's if you're using a hooked up machine that came with the system. I didn't buy that. I bought a separate one, so I don't use that command. Locate logic as well, same thing. That's for G-code. Another one for G-code. Arc feedback, that's whether you want it on or off. The bit is on or off. Then you give your pierce time. So as I said it for 10 seconds because that was my way of kind of fixing it a little. So 10 seconds for pierce time. First pierce time is 10 seconds as well. Let's see what else is in here. There's water injection, but that's not. That's an add-on that you can buy. I mean, I don't have it, but then there's your automated height control system, speed off of that, all the kinds of different commands that go with it. So the arc on. So those are M orders. So that's G-code stuff for customizing your G-code. This is the control system. So plasma slash flame, if it's 1 or 2, 1 means that it's plasma, 0 means flame, so right now it's plasma mode, as we just saw. So that's 1. Extended pierce, that's in the event that you're cutting something really thick as a one-off. No pre-shapes, that turns off, that's different. That's for loading up G-code. Metric or inches, and I just switched over to inches between the videos. Then we have calculate precision, control outsides. This is all more in-depth commands as we get towards the bottom, but they're all useful when you get to more advanced stuff. So this is setting it all for initial coordinates, all that kind of stuff. Alright, so whenever we're done something, we'll hit save, saves it, sends us all back. Then we can hit escape, and now we can go to our edit. So on edit, right now we have it loaded up, that G-code, I believe this is, actually we'll load just to make sure that I didn't, oh yeah, so we're on stads, but we're going to be on beveled part instead. Hit enter. So now we're on a beveled part G-code, that looks better. So what we can do is we can hit view, and that'll give us an image of what we're cutting. Oh, that's not good, I should take that out, but that'll be that's an image of one of the pieces we're cutting. So what we can do now is So what you do is you save your part, you hit enter, escape, auto, then you can hit, then you hit others, restore, and there it is. So now we have it up there, and again we could cut it just by hitting the start button over here, and then get it cutting. I don't have the right stuff right now, the material and stuff, so I'm not going to cut it, but that's basically the way how it works. So if you hit start, here I'll just disconnect the plasma source so you don't actually cut, but just to show you. So now we're going to just do a dry run of that part on the CNC machine. So we'll hit start. There, and now we're going to start the cutting. Oh, it's preheating, doing the 10-second pierce again. I should have taken off while I was in there. There, preheat is complete. And preheating again, never mind. Preheat. There, and now we're cutting that part. So we're cutting that big circle that I should have taken out, which is very inefficient. And now we're cutting the rest of that part, as you can see. There, complete. And again, this is the same thing. You can modify the kerf gap in here, and that'll change. You modify the kerf, and what that'll do is that'll basically offset all the pieces. So it knows that this is a internal part, meaning that the part on the inside of this cut is the one you want to keep. So then what it'll do is, if let's say I put in a 30 thou kerf gap, what that means is it'll add 30 thou to this distance that'll be cutting. So then it won't cut 30 thou short. Or sorry, 15 thou short, because it'd be half that, because it'd be cutting right down the line. So that's some of the more advanced commands. And again, there's a lot of stuff in here that I haven't even figured out yet. I'm still going through it all and learning it all. But I hope this showed a little bit of information.